I always think about how they like chose the pictures for the baseball cards, because my face in this one's like, you know, like, wow, you hit it, you know. This one too, I think is good because I've not played first in the big leagues. So now looking at it, I have a gray glove, and so this is from when I played first in college. No, this could be photoshopped. I don't know. I like this one. It's standard, easy, you know, right in my load. I look serious, like I mean business. That's baseball cards.
Hello and welcome to the show. Up ahead, we're going to find some gems in 2023 Topps Chrome, and World Series champ Brad Lidge joins the program to give us some insight into his collecting habits. But up first, Cubs pitcher Ethan Roberts was just getting his major league career started when he was sidelined with Tommy John surgery in 2022. Now, we will all be happy to see him on a big league mound again, but until then, checking out his card collection will just have to do. I'm always curious what major leaguers look for in the hobby, so I've been looking forward to this for a while. Check it out.
When I was younger, it wasn't, you know, something that I really did. It was like, you know, more like when I got to around 9, 10, 11 and on up. I told my dad when I was 12 that I wanted to, you know, be a big leaguer. So like that kind of comes with getting a baseball card.
Roberts a payoff pitch. Got him swinging. He strikes out the side.
I'm in a pretty fun group of a bunch of like Cubs collectors. And one of the guys in there sent an image of my card. And I ran across the house and like showed my wife. I was like, babe, this is what my card's gonna look like. So that was the first time I like actually saw it. When I figured out I had a full set, so to say, in this update flagship, that was my first card. I was like, I'm gonna run the whole set. I'm gonna find them all. And then once you find a lot of those, you wanna start another one. And then you start looking at other guys' sets, and you start looking at other guys' short prints, and it's kind of unraveling. Most of this is my flagship rainbow that I've started. I have, you know, the base, the rainbow, the gold foil, the gold, the purple, all the way up to the clear acetate. This was sold on eBay before I saw it. I asked the seller who he sold it to. The seller told me the buyer. I tracked down the buyer to 20 minutes from my house. So I had to give up an arm and a leg for this card, and I hope this guy's watching, so thanks for letting me give up an arm and a leg for this card. The next two, the toughest ones, are my my auto superfractor from Topps Chrome and my regular superfractor from Topps Chrome. Both showed to me by my Cubs group, so thank you guys for that. These are two guys that we had signed when I made my debut with the Cubs, and they helped me tremendously, and I just had to have them. So this is Jesse Chavez, 1 of 1. He's one of my favorites, and David Robertson also. David Robertson's also one of my favorites. Great dude, you know, set up for Mariano for a while, taught me a lot. And then you get the one that I want the dual on. Hopefully I can get that one day. So it's a Bowman Platinum out of 5 dual patch of Trout and Ohtani. Every time I go to a show, this is the first card that somebody pulls out of my box and asks me to buy. This was a fun one that I saw it, I had to have it just because, you know, it's part of what I'm going through right now. It's a Tommy John auto out of 150. Christopher Morel, patch auto out of 10. This is the Walter Stewart, the last big leaguer from my hometown since me. He was born in Sparta, Tennessee in 1900. When I watched my first episode of Carta, this was the card that kept popping up. So first episode, interview with Mattingly talking about his card. It means a lot to him, means a lot to me now. So I had to go pick one of those up. This whole bottom row is Stroman. I've got an auto out of 10 with Stroman. I've got his prospect auto, I've got patch autos, I've got all sorts of stuff. Some of the vintage I've been getting into, you've got a little bit of Ernie Banks in a 5, you got a Tony Gwynn, you got a Mookie. Mookie's actually from the Nashville area, that's why I had to have one of him in the collection. Everything that you see here is definitely gonna go down to my son. Most of it for me is like, I want my son to carry something with him. This is my first ever card. Is that flagship set. I'm just gonna get him authenticated, gonna get him encased, and he's gonna have him for the rest of his life, and hopefully it keeps going.
Struck to him. The Philadelphia Phillies are world champs. Brad Lidge does it again, and 2008 season.
He's a two-time All-Star. He's a former Reliever of the Year award winner, a World Series champion. I'm talking about Brad Lidge, who more importantly is a lover of baseball cards. And that's why he's on this edition of Carded. Brad, good to see you. Big fan of your work during your playing career. But now I want to know about your work as a card collector. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a crazy fanatic card collector, 1 being, I opened some packs when I was a kid. What number would you give your baseball card fandom?
Wow. I'd probably, first of all, Greg, it's great to see you and be on with you. But I'd probably go with a 7 or an 8. I go through periods of a 9 or a 10, followed by reality that washes over where I'm kind of like a 1 to 3 for a while. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's like probably a solid 7. And I would just say that it really morphed into kind of vintage and pre-war cards at some point or another in my life. And so I'm a big fan of those and those types of collectibles. I love world history. I love U.S. history. So those things lend themselves to that as much as anything.
Take me back to little Brad, okay?
Yeah.
When did little Brad start getting into baseball cards?
Oh man, as soon as I can remember, I mean, really, probably as far back as I can remember. I do remember opening packs of cards in this store in Denver called Bill's Sports Collectibles, and it's still there today. It's one of the few brick and mortar collectible stores that are still around. It's a staple in Denver for anybody that has ever collected baseball cards. But that was probably, so I was probably about 7 or 8, I would say, when I remember opening packs of like 85 tops and 84 tops and looking for the Wade Boggs or the Don Mattingly type of thing. My first favorite player was Dave Winfield, and I just loved how big that dude was, larger than life. I'm sure a lot of kids are loving Aaron Judge right now, same type of mold. So it's a 74 tops, and I think so I remember getting his rookie card in probably 86, 87, and it was $20 or something like that back then, which took me a while to get up to that. And I remember I brought it home, and I was so pumped up, and I had it laying on the floor, not like in any like plastic thing, just kind of laying on the floor, and my dog walked into the room and just walked right on it.
Oh no.
And I was like, get off. And then she got off it and like punched a nail through it, and I was just wrecked, Greg. I mean, it took me a while to get over it, and then I learned right there, like, you got to protect these things, otherwise your dog will step on them.
No doubt. Earlier you said that there are times where your passion level is at a 9 or a 10. So dip me into that Brad Lidge mindset, okay? When you're that intense, what are you trying to get? What's the card you're still trying to land? Have you landed it yet? How many of those do you want?
So one thing I was kind of trying to do was 1909-2206, and what I was trying to do was build that whole set, with the exception of like the 4 or 5 that are just unobtainable. That is going to take a while. Like, I'm still kind of doing that. I won a fantasy football league a couple of years ago, and it was a pretty good payout. It was with a bunch of retired guys. We still get after it on that fantasy football league, and I took that money and actually bought a Babe Ruth, which was something I always wanted for a long time. And then I was like, I want to go even further back. There's a couple different sets from 1887, some variations. Old Judge is, I think, the name of these cards. Well, it is the name of the cards. And they're kind of in these sepia colors and black and white. And they are just a circus to try and collect these things. Like, it's all kinds of ridiculous poses and crazy names, and like, guys with like you can see like curtains behind them that are like painted to look like a baseball field. So I think those and Cracker Jacks are those 2 cards that I'd love to get a hold of if I could, but they are very pricey, Greg.
Yeah, I know they are, and I find it interesting that there are former big leaguers that now feel like they had something to do with you having a Babe Ruth card because they lost in the fantasy baseball league, fantasy football league. It's so good, but it's interesting because as a big leaguer, we all wonder what it's like when you guys see yourself on a card. You've loved cards your entire life. What was it like for you when you saw the Brad Lidge rookie? Did it live up to the emotional expectations?
Yeah, I think it did. So I remember shooting the picture for that card, and it was after I got drafted at a Notre Dame, and there was this representative from Topps that needed to meet me and shoot some pictures of me in an Astros uniform, and I was able to to scrounge together like an Astros uniform. And we were actually in Chicago, and he filmed it at like a local park on a mound there and just kind of blurred the background. So it looked like I was actually pitching for the Astros, even though obviously that would be impossible because I had never even, played a professional game yet. And these cards came out. Yeah, it was one of the coolest probably moments of my career. I think anybody that's, that feels like they really got there, when they get that baseball card, it really feels like you've made it. So for me, one of the highlights of my life as a professional athlete for sure.
So it sounds like that would be your favorite Brad Lidge card. I got a million Brad Lidge cards. And it's so funny because you guys obviously have the action shots, which are great. And I've heard different takes on which action shots they like. But there are many of you have a card they're not a big fan of. So when you go to a signing and someone brings that card, you're like, of all of my cards, you have this Brad Lidge card. Does that Brad Lidge card exist? One that you're not a super big fan of?
Brad Ausmus always gave me a hard time about this when I was in Houston. It was like 2003 Topps. It was like my first 2003 or 4, I think. It was like my first Topps card in the regular set. On the back of the card, I don't know how in the world this stuff happens. Every once in a while, Topps will put these like kind of funny facts or whatever on the back. And it was a quote from my grandmother who somehow they interviewed. And she's like, he's a nice person and that's great, but he's a really nice looking young man. And that's, I just want to make sure that people know that. And I was like, why would you put that on my card? What is happening here? And I couldn't even believe it. And, it's my dad's mom. And so my dad got a kick out of it. And, of course, my grandmother's like, oh my God, I'm on the card. Like, this is incredible. And I'm just scratching my head. Like, why would this ever be on a baseball card?
That's so good.
I've ever seen. So
I can only imagine players, your teammates, seeing the quote from Grandma on a baseball card of yours and just reiterating Grandma's line over and over again in the clubhouse.
Yeah, it was nonstop. And, fortunately, it's on the back of the card. So, like, you would have to actually pick up the card and read the back, which I think probably most people didn't do. At least my teammates didn't care that much to do it. But of course, Brad Ausmus, nothing goes by his very watchful eye ruling over that clubhouse in Houston there. So he picked me apart on that one for sure.
Oh, it's so good. Before I let you go, people are going to wonder, you don't have to name everybody that's in this fantasy football league of yours with these former big leaguers, but because they lost and those earnings led to Brad Lidge getting a Babe Ruth card, just give me one or two guys that helped the Brad Lidge Babe Ruth card fund.
I can tell you one right now who typically finishes toward the bottom of our fantasy football roster every year, and that's Chipper Jones. I mean, he is he is just a guy that's just willing to go out there and donate to everyone else, and it's fantastic for us all. I think in that particular year, I beat David Wright to win the championship, and he's actually a real good fantasy football player. So it's a fun league, and there's a lot of good dudes, and we have a good time. But I'm happy to spend Chipper's money. Obviously, he made way more than the rest of us combined, so that's fine.
He did, and I'm thankful to have a Chipper Jones rookie card. I only have one. It's in terrific condition, and I hold it close to my heart, but I think it's hilarious that he helped you get a Babe Ruth card. Brad, this was so fun catching up with you. Awesome to see someone who really has a passion for this. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you joining us on Carded.
Yeah, my pleasure, Greg, and maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Now let's get you out to Target Field in Minnesota. The Twins are in the middle of a postseason push, but pitcher Joe Ryan took some time for us to rip through a stack of packs to see if he can pull his own rookie card.
A 3-hit shutout for Joe Ryan. That was a magnificent performance.
Got 9 packs of 2022 Bowman cards here, and we're going to see if I can pull my rookie card. I feel like it's going to be the 3rd pack, but we'll see how long we go for. One of those famous guys out there, Lars Nootbaar. Saw him a couple times this offseason getting ready and doing pretty good, so that's awesome. Probably surfing helped out with that. Everyone's going to get excited about this one. Aaron Judge. Yeah, it's definitely a tough out. 8 more. Like I said, 3rd one's going to be it. Another Cardinal to start off the pack. We got Paul Goldschmidt. Pretty good player right there, so fun guy to watch. Pack 3. We got Garrett Cole right here to start off the top. So these cards have been pretty stellar. We got a nice lineup on all 3 packs so far. Ooh. This is a cool one. I've seen this card a couple times around. Rookie of the Year favorite, O'Neal Cruz. We got Juan Soto on the Nationals. Oh, sorry, Soto. We got Simeon on the Rangers. It's a nice one. He booked me last year. Yeah, not a great pitch, but good hitter. Luke Williams, played with him on the USA qualifier team to get us to go to Tokyo. He He might have been the MVP of that series. He was a gamer, so pretty cool card there. Julio Rodriguez. Faced him, speaking of the qualifier, faced him there. Faced him in the big leagues. Obviously a great player. I'm gonna steal this one for sure. Oh, here you go, J-Lo. Played with Josh at several different levels. Great player. Good job, J-Lo. Got a Yadi Molina here. I think a lot of great pitchers have come through there and probably careers were enhanced because of his ability back there. Yeah, it would have been awesome to have him catch a couple games. Well, I got a pretty stacked lineup of cards that I'm taking home today, so. Sander. Yeah, I struck him out several times and then he got his payback with a grand slam last year, so that one stings a little bit, but great player, obviously. Hey! We got it. I think it was the 7th pack. That's pretty sweet. All right, nice. Honored to pull one of those. Probably gonna give this one to my mom, my dad. Glad I got to build up a nice collection before I got to mine. Thank you guys.
You know, I've been working through a box of 2023 Topps Chrome for a week now, and I really like what I'm seeing. The imagery, the parallels, the inserts, so fun. When it comes down to it, I might just like it because it's so shiny, for real. I know it's simple, but for real. Just look at this Rafi Devers refractor. It's beautiful, like gorgeous, almost hypnotic. Our own Alex Jaimo has some info on what else we might find in the set.
Topps Chrome is easily one of the most anticipated sets of the season, and if we're going to talk about Chrome, we need to start at the beginning. 1993 Topps Finest was the first set to use Topps Chrome tech, like this classic Tony Gwynn from 93 Topps Finest. This is like the grandfather of all your favorite chromes and refractors. Over the years, Chrome developed a whole roster of inserts and parallels to chase, like your standard refractor card, or your prism refractor, or your waves, sonar, negatives, frozen fractors, super fractors, X fractors, ultraviolet all-stars. I'm tripping just looking at those guys. Technicolor inserts, future stars, super short prints, autos, relics, so many color variations, red, magenta, pink, blue, orange, gold. Seriously, just go look at a checklist. Now this could get a little confusing, so I'm here to help you sort some of it out. Of course, you have your base cards, but the 2023 set is offering photo variations of a number of star players. Then you have your refractors, which give a rainbow shine in the light and have a refractor marking on the backs. Then you have the parallels, and they break down like this. Blue is 1 of 150, green is 1 of 99, gold's 1 of 50, orange is 1 of 25, red's 1 of 5, and the coveted superfractor, which is a 1 of 1. Now, I've only opened a few packs so far, but I do have some early favorites. I love the Titans inserts. They have like a kind you at the ballpark type of vibe. Here's Jose Ramirez and Clayton Kershaw towering above their stadiums. And check out this green sonar refractor. It's a Bubba Thompson, number to 99. And I love that the 1988 Topps appreciation is still going strong in 2023. This Vlad Guerrero Jr. card, it's pretty awesome. And of course, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention the debut of the Taco Fractor. They're pretty rare, but I have seen a few pop up on social media, and I won't be satisfied until I get my hands on one. And it's really got my brain buzzing with the potential for future fractors. May I suggest the Sneaker Fractor? And how about a Pizza Fractor? The Puppy Fractor. That's my dog Bella, by the way. Oh. The pterodactyl fractor. I don't know. I can't stop thinking about this. Topps, call me.
Up next is another great story from the Topps YouTube channel. Collector Lee Sassy celebrated his 101st birthday by throwing out the first pitch at Camden Yards, and Topps came up with something truly special to mark the occasion. Check it out.
I made this special for you.
Okay. Oh, okay. I don't believe it.
Meet Lee Sassy. Mr. Sassy is a World War II veteran, a Purple Heart, Silver and Bronze Star recipient, a grandpa, a great-grandpa, and a lifelong Orioles fan. On top of all that, he has every Topps Orioles player card ever made, dating back to 1954. Today marks his 101st birthday, and the Orioles have invited this legendary Topps collector to Camden Yards to throw out the first pitch. We tagged along for the day and have some special birthday surprises in store for him as well.
I just love them. It's very interesting. I love them. I spend most of my time on it. Mom used to say, you want to move your bed down in the basement? Because that's where I spend most of my time with the cards.
You never think that you're going to be one that gets to go down on the field, and then when it actually happens, it's really cool. Yeah, my grandfather was the one that got me started in collecting. Like during the summer when I was little, I'd spend a week out with my grandparents, and he would take me to the card store. Like, until this day, for Christmas every year, I get the complete set of Topps.
Topps made Mr. Sassy his very own Topps trading card, featuring his World War II photo. And we gave him 101 copies of the card to celebrate his 101st birthday.
They made this special for you.
Okay. Oh, boy. Thank you. Oh, geez. I don't believe this. Yeah, boy. It's something else.
That's a special player there.
Yeah, I see that.
Did he hit?
Yeah, I see that. That's my World War II picture.
But what's the point of having your own Topps card if you don't autograph it?
There you go. Okay. This is my buddy.
He was at a loss for words when we presented him this very special birthday gift.
That feels great. I don't believe it. I mean, it's like a dream.
Well, that's just about it for the show, but I've got one more pack to rip to close it out. Well, two more, if you count these 2023 Chrome packs I'm about to get into, and I'm excited for it. If you want to rip your own, just scan the QR and find something for yourself. In the meantime, Arizona's Merrill Kelly is still working on Topps Series 1, so check out what he pulls, and we'll see you next time on Carded. Fired up. I got a feeling my bad knee is going to be good. Let's see what we got. Ooh, interesting. Some Carlos Lee. Carlos Perez was a throwback card. JT Real Muto, I'll take a captain any day of the week behind the plate. Ken Waldichuk, fascinating.
All right, how we doing, guys? I'm Merrill Kelly with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I got a pack of Topps 2023 Series 1. We're going to open them up and see who we get. I'm sure Evan Longoria is going to be interested to see who we get here. I know he's a big card guy. First one, Jake Cronenworth. We just saw him with the Padres. He's a good baseball player. Just got a new contract extension, so congrats on that, Jake. Ooh. Obviously, anytime Shohei's on the front, probably pay attention to that one. The one pitch that I remember is a 93 mile an hour two-strike front hip sinker that he hit almost into the pool here at Chase. So that's probably my most recent memory with Shohei. It was fun watching him. That at-bat that he had with first Trout in the WBC, that memory will definitely stick with me for sure. That was a probably once in a lifetime opportunity to see that type of at-bat in person. Aaron Nola with the Phillies, really good pitcher. Love watching him pitch. Got a really, really good changeup. The captain, Aaron Judge. I don't know if I faced him. He's probably pretty intimidating in the box, I would guess. Our own Buddy Kennedy, little Mike Trout Jr. Jose Ramirez, really good third baseman. I love watching this guy play too. He looks like he's just having a bunch of fun out there. Sonny Gray, been around doing it for a long time. Love watching him throw sinkers, glove sides. A lot of fun to watch. Another Shohei Ohtani. Two Shoheis, so we'll see what we got. This one obviously looks good, but I don't know enough about cards to figure out if it's actually really good or not. But I'll have to ask, like I said, I'll have to ask our card expert, Evan Longoria, so I'll have to check on that one.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that is 11 strikeouts for Kelly.